Hi there, this is Sanjay and I welcome you all to this English learning YouTube channel, English Every Day. In today's video, again, we are going to focus over Indian accent. Yes, because many students still they are facing the problem with understanding Indian accent because Indian people, they speak so faster and their accent is neutral. So this is why it is really very difficult for many people to understand. So in today's video, I'm going to read one article in typical Indian accent, and also we are going to discuss some questions from the article in Indian accent. So this video is going to be a booster for you to make you become more familiar with Indian accent. So let's get into the article and start reading it. So the topic for today's reading we have is success or failure. So I'm going to read this in Indian accent, and you need to pay attention on how I pronounce the words when I read this in Indian accent. So let's begin. Which of the two, success or failure, teaches you the most? Everyone likes to succeed, which makes people become more confident. However, when it comes to failure, the consequence seems to be the opposite. Especially in Eastern society, parents always tell their children to avoid losing. But if we look into the deep side of failure, we can see something different. It is a failure that teaches us the most. When experiencing failure, people will start to think back over themselves. Sometimes they are unable to find out their fault. Consequently, they need something to remind themselves. For example, when I was a high school student, I had attended a competition for writing. Although I tried my best to practice my writing skills and read lots of books about that competition, I still lost it. After being frustrated with myself for a while, I started to consider the reason that led me to the failure. Finally, I found one of the answers in a book I read. In that book, the author says that if you are afraid of being a loser, you will be limited and never be the success. Failure is a teacher who is the most rigorous one to check whether you are able to accept her suggestions and keep going on. Failure is full of path in our life. It can become a useful tool if you know how to use it. Alright, so this time I read this in a moderate speed, and now I'm going to read one more time, and this time it would be much faster. So try to pay more attention now because I'm going to read in 2x faster speed. Let's begin. Which of the two, success or failure, teaches you the most? Everyone likes to succeed, which makes people become more confident. However, when it comes to failure, the consequence seems to be the opposite. Especially in Eastern society, parents always tell their children to avoid losing. But if we look into the deep side of failure, we can see something different. It is a failure that teaches us the most. When experiencing failure, people will start to think back over themselves. Sometimes they are unable to find out their fault. Consequently, they need something to remind themselves. For example, when I was a high school student, I had attended a competition for writing. Although I tried my best to practice my writing skills and read lots of books about that competition, I still lost it. After being frustrated with myself for a while, I started to consider the reasons that led me to the failure. Finally, I found one of the answers in a book I read. In that book, the author says that if you are afraid of being a loser, you will be limited and never be the success. Failure is a teacher who is the most rigorous one to check whether you are able to accept the suggestions and keep going on. Failure is full of the path in our life. It can become a useful tool if you know how to use it. Alright, so this time I think it was much faster, and I hope it would be understood by you. Now we are going to have a few questions from this article, and we are going to practice them. The questions would be in American accent and the answers would be in Indian accent. So pay more attention now, and we are good to go. And we have another slide where we have some questions. So I would be reading these questions in American accent, and I would give the answers in Indian accent. So try to understand what I'm giving the answers in. So the first question: success can be defined differently by different types of people. What is your opinion? As per my opinion, I think success is something where people are doing something they like doing. For example, if you are doing something that you love doing, you enjoy doing, you don't feel tired, it means you are successful. It doesn't mean like you are having a lot of money or you are getting high profile jobs, or you are stuck into something and you are the person who is well known. It is successful. So different people have different opinion for how success can be defined. But in my opinion, if you are having the peace of mind, it is like you are successful. Question number 2. What is failure? Is it necessary to get fail in life once? Yes, I believe it is really necessary that we should once get fail into our life, because if you don't fail, you would not know what is the secret of success. all the people who are now on a high level or they are successful, they used to be a failure in their life. You can take the example of Elon Musk or Ko Tai-min, the richest man of Taiwan. He also once got fail in his life, in his business, and this is why he is on a very high level of success. So I feel that if you are a failure person, then you know what is success for you. Question number 3, how should we deal with failure into our life? I think we should take is as a lesson, because many people, they when they get failed, they get depressed, they get into depression. But I think this is not the way. We should always feel that to be unsuccessful or to get failure into our life is to give us another chance to find out our weakness and to improve them and to be on the way of success. So I think it is really necessary. We should do positive. We should react positively when we are getting failure into our life. Question number 4. What makes you learn more, success or failure? I think both are really very important, because if you are successful, then you know what is success, so you can be more successful in your life. And if you get fail, I mean, if you are a failure person, that still you will be learning more. But generally people say, like if a majority of people, they are saying that when you are fail person, when you are having a failure into your life, then you have more chance to learn into your life. So I think failure give you more chance to learn. Question number 5. Talk about one of the failures of your life where you learned something. There are many things I could say, like where I got fail and I learned something. I'm giving you one more example. Like once I tried in a company and I tried giving interview for 5 times. I got rejected because of having no communication skills, because I was speaking Indian accent and they didn't understand, so they rejected me. But practicing again and again, I dealt with that, and I finally learned to practice American accent. And then after giving the interview, maybe like 12th or 13th time, I finally got selected. So I feel that keeping practices, like learning from your failure, will give you success once in your life. So keep on practicing and one day you will be successful. All right, so now we are on the way to conclusion part. I mean, we discuss about the questions and the answers in Indian accent, and you need to try and watch this video again and again to focus more on how Indian person describes the answer and the pronunciation of the words. So this is something for you from my side. Now, if you have any question, if you want to know something more, or if you want me to make a new video on any other topic, you can write down on the comment below. And thank you so much for giving your time and to watch this video. So thank you so much and have a happy time.